Welcome back, NYC Fragrance family. Full cheap list or inexpensive. I don't know. Depending on what you say nowadays, people get offended. We've always referred to them as cheapies in this community. Now we're, I guess, going to change that. I don't know. I can't keep up with all this stuff. Anyway, so here's my list. I got 10 fragrances for you. Put them in order of, like I have done the other ones, Fragrantica ratings. So the people that go on Fragrantica and put in their reviews and their ratings, I'm respecting your numbers. Now, the worst fragrance on the list got a 3.93, which is almost a 4, which is pretty decent if you ask me. Cheap fragrances, inexpensive fragrances, as you know, none of these are sent to me. One of them was gifted to me, but I believe it was a Christmas gift, a birthday gift. I don't remember 100%. I believe it was Christmas. Anyway. So from a 3.93 all the way down to number one at a 4.26. 4.26 for a cheap fragrance. That's a pretty high score if you ask me on Fragrantica. But these are all relatively inexpensive. Some you may have seen on my list before. Some may be new to the list. And sometimes a brand will show its face more than once. And for good reason. So let's get started with the list. At number 10. A line that came out and made waves in the community, has done very well, and this is probably my favorite from the line. I know some people favor one or two of the other ones in the line, but this one happens to be my favorite. Azzaro Hot Pepper. This one to me just has this beautiful spiciness to it. But it also, to some degree, reminds me of Prada Amber. Prada Amber Intense. If you know that fragrance, there's almost this soapy, clean thing to it, but then it also has this nice spice to it. The pepper, right? This one got a 3.93 rating on Fragrantica. It is number 10 on my list. At number 9, fragrance, back-to-back, on this list from this house. They have some great cheapies. Priced at around $20. Can't go wrong. This got a rating of 3.99, almost a 4. From the House of Zara. Intense, Dark, Exclusive. Now a lot of you know Rich, Warm, Addictive. You may not be familiar with Intense, Dark, Exclusive. This one has been compared to Armani Code Profumo, which is a favorite in the community by many reviewers that enjoy the Armani Code line and the designers. It may not be their favorite from the line, maybe their second or third, but it's definitely up there. 3.99 rating. This is coming in at about $20 for a 100 ml bottle. Perfect for an inexpensive list. Perfect alternative for Armani Code Profumo. It even has a vague similarity to Carolina Herrera's 212 VIP. If you're interested in those kind of fragrances. Like I said, back-to-back Zara's. This Zara is Zara Man Gold. Now this is the older bottle. Again, this came in a Man Gold Man Silver pack, which was $29. This is supposed to smell like Paco Rabanne's Black XS. Sweet, fall type fragrance. Somewhat on the less mature side, a sweeter fragrance. Probably doesn't last very long, but again, at the price that you can get it at, you'll probably pick this up on its own for $20. If you don't want to go out and spend money on Paco Rabanne Black XS, which even that is discounted, so you won't save much, but if you don't want to spend the money for Paco Rabanne, you can get the Zara Man Gold, and you're good to go. This got a 4.01 rating. So we're already in the 4 territory. Pretty good scores. And this is at number 8 on the list. Zara Man Gold. At number 7 on the list, a fragrance that I think is one of the biggest steals on the list. The quality of this fragrance. The way it makes me feel when I wear it. It's just got that gentlemanly vibe. You know, it's a fragrance that smells as good as a Creed fragrance. And almost of that quality, maybe even better at times. Depending on the wearing. Depending how I feel. It does change from wearing to wearing. This got a 4.08 rating from the House of Lalique Pour Homme. That's the one with the lion head. Make sure you get the right one when you order it, if you decide to get this fragrance. This is, like I said, Creed's Bois de Portugal on the cheap. Less expensive, still smells great. I would dress this one up. I don't think this is casual fragrance. This is definitely more mature, definitely more upscale, and surprisingly at this price, a steal as far as I'm concerned. So with the 4.08 rating, number 7, Lalique Pour Homme. The next fragrance barely edged out Lalique Pour Homme with a 4.07 rating. At number 6, Calvin Klein CK1 Shock. Now, value per ml, this is probably the best value on the list. You got yourself a Swedish cherry tobacco type fragrance. A lot of people will say similar to Ultramall. I'm not getting that. To me, it's a sweet, light tobacco, fresh tobacco fragrance, if you can get a fresh tobacco fragrance. 200 ml bottle, coming in at $20-something. You get more and more for your value. Performance, very lacking. The scent profile is amazing. I wish they would make an intense version of this, and I probably said it before in other videos, that would just be longer lasting. Or somebody would just emulate this fragrance and make it a longer lasting fragrance. I just love the smell of this fragrance. It is a really nice scent profile for an affordable fragrance. At number 5, a fragrance that you probably don't hear much about at all. I have almost the entire line from Nino Cerruti. This is Nino Cerruti 1881 Black. This fragrance has a soapiness to it from lavender, spiciness from like nutmeg and caraway. It's got woody notes like cedar. There's also this marzipan note to it, which is like a almond paste, so to speak. Very sweet almond paste that's you'll see in desserts, or they'll use sometimes in small pastries. This is a really good fragrance and good value. I just love smelling it in the air. 4.1 rating on Fragrantica. That's a pretty good rating. And for that reason, it's at number 5 on my list. Nino Cerruti 1881 Black. At number 4 on my list, with a 4.11 Fragrantica rating, Coach for Men. Now I know what you're saying. The original, come on. Where's blue? Where's platinum? Well, for the fall and a good value, Coach for Men gets it done. If you don't want to spend the money on Dior Sauvage and you want a cheaper version of it that may be even slightly different, something that definitely is crowd pleasing, easy, approachable, compliment getting, and for a good value, Coach for Men's got you covered. 4.11 rating on Fragrantica that says a lot of people think it's really, really good. At number 3, a brand that gives great value across the board as far as I'm concerned, especially if you get some of their past iterations. From John Varvatos comes John Varvatos, the original. John Varvatos original. Fragrantica rated 4.21 at the time I made my list. Just a clean, classy, gentleman style fragrance. Spiciness, cleanliness. It's just says class in a bottle. It is a classy fragrance and a great value. If you haven't smelled it, you're doing yourself a disservice. Now again, with the Varvatos, they don't last very, very long, so it's good that they're at a cheap price and you can just continue to respray throughout the day. So at number 3, John Varvatos for Men. At number 2, another brand that I have, another Italian brand that I have, that doesn't get a lot of talk, and I own quite a few fragrances from them as well. And this one here is definitely a daily driver, something that you could wear regularly. Gianfranco Fede for men. Now be careful, because this is Gianfranco Fede for men. They also have the original or the older fragrance is called Gianfranco Fede for man. So that's MAN for the older fragrance, MEN for the newer fragrance, which is the newer iteration. They don't smell similar at all. For Man is definitely a vintage classic, old school powerhouse, 80s style fragrance that just smacks you in the face and hits hard. You could still find that, and I do have it. And if you're into powerhouse fragrances, seek that one out too. That comes in this black bottle with the sprayer built in. It's a very unique looking bottle as well. Now this fragrance, Gianfranco Fede for Men, which got a 4.25 rating on Fragrantica, smells very similar to like Jean Paul Gaultier Le Mans. It has that powdery barbershop type fragrance, and that's pretty much what it is. It's a powdery barbershop style fragrance. It's got some aromatics, it's got some spices, it's got some woods, and you definitely have that powderiness. It makes for a nice daily wear. It's a good office fragrance, comes in relatively cheap, and it is number 2 on my list for the fall. Gianfranco Fede for Men. Finally, we get to number 1. Every time I make these list videos, you have no idea what I go through in my house. But there are so many noises that make it extremely, extremely difficult, and I don't think, anybody cares, but it is what it is. Anyway, at number 1, slightly edging out number 2, with a 4.26 for Fragrantica rating, Halloween Man Shot. Now I know Halloween Man X came out, and now we have the other one, Halloween Man Hero, I believe it's called. Why Halloween Man Shot? That sprayer's shooting out. Listen, this is like one of the quintessential scents for fall. If you're in the fragrance community and you hear the fragrances that get talked about the most in the designer realm, probably 2 that get mentioned more than any others, or very highly mentioned in most lists: YSL La Nuit de l'Homme, Dolce & Gabbana The One. Both of those fragrances, people have compared this to, or find similarities to, because of the cardamom, the spiciness, that sexy, warm smell that you get from both of those fragrances. To me, what I found funny, when people said La Nuit de l'Homme, where I saw comparisons, I just sprayed it on recently just to give myself a shot, a smell of it again. And when I sprayed it, I couldn't help but say, you know what? That smells like Dolce & Gabbana The One more to me than La Nuit de l'Homme. So for me, the similarity is closer to Dolce & Gabbana The One than La Nuit de l'Homme. But anyway, great value. The Halloween line itself brings good value. I have Halloween Man X as well, and I enjoy that one. The coffee note is really nice. That's another one that could be worn in the fall and in the winter, because it's got that dark richness, that warm feeling that you'll get from something spicy and aromatic like this. So, number 1, Halloween Man Shot, 4.26 rating. So there you have it, my fall cheap, inexpensive fragrances ranked by Fragrantica ratings. I hope you enjoyed the list. I hope there's some that you haven't heard of, and maybe that brings some value to you, and you can tell your friends about the list. So let's give the video a big thumbs up. This way YouTube knows that you enjoyed the list, and they'll share it with other people, and they'll get their same value out of this list. Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Hit the notification bell so you know when my videos are coming out. You'll be the first to know when a new video is released. New viewers, thank you for stopping by. New subscribers, thank you for joining the NYC Fragrance family. And my NYC Fragrance family, from the bottom of my heart. I keep getting tongue twisted. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'm trying to get through this because I've had to stop so many times. But I thank you for the continued support. And what keeps me making these videos is all the great comments from you guys. I appreciate everything. I appreciate the people that reached out to me and wished their condolences in my last video. That was a special video to me. And I appreciate all the people that expressed their condolences. And until the next time, remember, if you smell good, You feel good. Have a nice day.